Slating for me has always just been something I always thought, okay, yeah, just get your sound and your video together and mark what the scene is. But as I recently discovered on a film, it can be a little bit more than that. It can make your life a lot easier. But I'm gonna let you tell us about that.
Yeah, I think we've both seen what happens to a project if you don't have proper camera reports and camera notes or even continuity. They're kind of all tied together. But I would say at a bare minimum, choose how you're going to slate your shots. There is different ways to do it. There's what we call an American way and a British way. If you'd like to look into that yourself, you can see what.
No, tell us about it. What's the American way?
I don't know. All I know is there's an American way and a British way. Yeah.
But there's actually a lot more that slating can do for you in this whole editing process. If I'm on a big production, I'm on one of your shows that has a $5 million budget per episode, what are the other advantages to slating on a project that big?
Well, you can mark the slate with certain information, like if you have a VFX shot, and then that will let the editor know when they drop that shot into their timeline and start cutting, if it looks like something's missing. Let's say, as an example, what we call a split screen. Potentially 2 actors aren't available the same day and they have to talk. You can record actor A without actor B, then you can record actor B without actor A, and on the slate you would mark that that's a VFX shot, so when the editor is looking at why are actor A and B on 2 separate shots, they will know to kind of marry them together down the middle. You can mark when something has audio or not, because syncing sound is a very important part of the process, and you don't want your editor to panic when he's looking at a clip with no audio, so your slate will let him know there's no audio on that clip. If you have multiple cameras, most likely you name your A camera your sort of master, and that's usually the widest, when your B and potentially C cameras would be dedicated to more close-up stuff. So when all your editor has to do is just look at the slate and he would know it's an A camera, it's probably something wide, this is where I can utilize it.
So it makes it easier to find the footage. Like if you know A camera is always the master shot, it just allows you to find your footage faster rather than going through three different rolls from 3 different cameras.
Among other things, you could note different frame rates on your slate. So again, when your editor's looking at something, it might look in slow motion. They know to speed it up.
And I know earlier you also mentioned like watching the dailies and stuff and notes. Now this is something that as a director, if you see a take that's really, really good, and you're like, oh yes, I want to definitely use that one, you can have somebody mark it so that your editor knows. It's like, oh, okay, great. Like I know that scene 2, take 4 is one that the director really wants to use, so I'm gonna make sure that's in right from the very beginning.
Most of the time, it's a camera assistant who would be taking those notes for you. And as the director, if you have multiple takes of a shot and you have your favorite and you're confident take 2 is the best, the camera assistant or whoever's taking that note will circle take number 2 as they are writing it down, and then your editor will look at those notes and they will understand that number 2 is circled, that's the take that the director loved best, that's what he will put in his assembly.
Ryan is giving us the workflow on a big production that has millions of dollars and can afford to have a big crew. Now, if you're on a smaller crew, you're doing a music video, a short film, your crew's of like 5 people or so. What I find works best for me as the director is, I keep a little notepad with me as well. And when I see something that I really like, I do exactly that. Like I don't circle it because, I don't have a proper camera report, but I have a notepad and I will say, okay, I really like take 2 or take 4. And it's just great to do this because then when you get in that editing room, whether you're the director and editor or whether you're the director working with your editor, it's just easier that now you don't have to go through, especially say you do 6 takes. Instead of trying to find that take where you're like, oh, I know that was really good, I just forget which take it is. Rather than watching through it, you can just go, boom, oh yeah, perfect. That driving scene, it's take 2, you go right to it. Again, there's two main advantages to this. One, it saves you time in the editing. And two, it allows you to find that shot that your gut instinct said was the best one right away. Because sometimes your takes look very similar, and I've been in that position where I'm in the editing room going, oh, is it take 2 or take 3? Oh, they're really, really good. But you just, it's hard to tell. But if you make the notes while you're filming, that's your gut instinct, and that's always, as an editor, as a director, what's best to go with. So for all the directors out there, two pieces of advice. One, if you have an editor and you can have them on set with you, that's amazing. If you can't, make sure to be taking your own notes for when you get to that editing stage. One other thing I'd like to really add that I learned this most recently, and this is just a small little tip regarding slating. And so on a recent one, I was helping a friend with his short film, and I was there to take the footage, and I was meant to just back it up. And then I also went in the editing software, I created the project, and I sunk all the footage. And one thing that this camera department did that I absolutely loved was when they slated, they didn't roll the camera and then bring up the slate. They brought up the slate first and then hit record. So then that way, the moment I opened this footage, the very first frame had the information that I needed on that slate, rather than me having to scrub through the footage to find the slate. So that's one tip for you guys. Hold up the slate, then hit record. Make life easier on your editors. I know it may not seem like a lot, but when you add up a minute here, a minute there, suddenly you're saving hours of time in the editing room. And if you're paying an editor, those hours add up, and so does that bill. So just a small tip for you guys when you're slating.